8 degrees in Cornwall, whilst Aberdeen sits at 12. Yes, you heard that correctly. The southwest is actually colder than the northeast of Scotland right now, and this temperature inversion is just the beginning of what is shaping up to be a rather unusual week across the United Kingdom. Is your area about to face another 3 weeks of relentless rainfall, or could we finally see that shift everyone has been waiting for? Because right now, the Met Office has weather warnings active across southern England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, affecting millions of people who've already endured nearly 3 consecutive weeks of persistent rain. The question isn't whether more unsettled weather is coming, it's about timing, intensity, and crucially, whether there is any relief on the horizon. I am going to walk you through exactly when conditions change for your specific location, and I need you to drop your city or county in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be providing personalized forecasts based on what you are telling me you are experiencing on the ground. Right then, let's get straight to the detail. London, you are looking at temperatures hovering around 8 degrees Celsius through Tuesday and Wednesday, with showers persisting but not the heavy persistent rain we've seen recently. Manchester, similar story for you, 7 to 9 degrees, blustery conditions continuing with showers rather than prolonged rainfall. Birmingham, you are in that 8-degree range as well, though your Thursday could look quite different from what London experiences. Glasgow, surprisingly mild at 11 degrees, considerably warmer than southern counterparts. Cardiff, unfortunately you are right in the firing line for the heaviest showers midweek, 8 degrees but feeling colder in that wind. Belfast, very similar conditions with particular concern about ice warnings overnight into Wednesday morning. Now, before we dive deeper into the regional breakdown, there is something developing in the models that caught my attention, and I'll show you exactly what is happening at the 7-minute mark, because it could completely change the weekend forecast for the eastern half of the country. Let's talk about what actually driving this pattern, because understanding the meteorology helps make sense of why forecasts keep showing cold air tantalizingly close, but never quite delivering for most areas. We've got Atlantic low pressure systems marching in one after another, that classic southwesterly tracking pattern that keeps the UK mild but thoroughly unsettled. The jet stream has positioned itself in a southerly track, which is rather unusual for early February, and this is why we're re-seeing these repeated weather systems affecting particularly the southern counties. The Met Office Unified Model and the European model are actually in reasonable agreement about the next 72 hours, which gives us decent confidence. Both showing low pressure, dominating, both indicating showers rather than continuous rain for most areas, both suggesting temperatures remaining above average for early February. However, and this is crucial, they begin to diverge quite significantly from Friday onwards, and I'll explain exactly what that means for different parts of the UK. For those of you in the southwest, Plymouth, Exeter, Cornwall, you are unfortunately bearing the brunt of this Atlantic assault, currently experiencing the heaviest and most frequent showers. And I know from the comments on previous videos that many of you are absolutely fed up with the constant grey skies and rainfall. The unfortunate reality is that your position on the western edge of the country means you are first in line when these systems roll in from the Atlantic. Tuesday and Wednesday, expect showers to continue, some heavy at times, winds gusting to around 60 kilometers per hour on exposed coasts. There is, however, a slight improvement signal for late week, and I'll come back to that. Moving across to the southeast, Brighton, Dover, Southampton, you in a slightly better position. The showers you getting are less frequent, more scattered in nature. Dover in particular, you might actually see some decent bright spells between the showers on Wednesday afternoon. But here is what concerns me for your area. If the European model solution verifies, and it is showing about a 60% probability at the moment, you could see a return to more organized rainfall by Friday evening. We'll have a much clearer picture tomorrow morning once the latest model runs come through. The Midlands, so we're re-talking Birmingham, Leicester, Nottingham, Coventry, you are right in that transition zone. Not quite as wet as the southwest, not quite as favoured for brighter intervals as some eastern areas. Temperatures steady around 8 to 9 degrees, showers on and off through the working week. One thing to watch for those of you commuting in this region, Wednesday morning could bring some tricky driving conditions, with showers being heavy enough to cause temporary surface water on roads, particularly on the M6 corridor and M1 through the East Midlands. Now let head north. Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Sheffield, you're all sitting in similar conditions. 7 to 10 degrees through the week, precipitation more showery than persistent. Liverpool catches Irish sea showers, possibly thundery Wednesday. Leeds and Sheffield, more sheltered, looking drier overall. Newcastle and the northeast are in a favoured position this week. Showers more isolated, 9 to 11 degrees, rather mild for early February with pleasant bright spells. Scotland's forecast varies markedly by location. Edinburgh and Glasgow, 10 to 12 degrees, exceptionally mild, but the west coast gets battered by showers whilst the east stays drier. Aberdeen and Inverness, sheltered eastern position, could see prolonged sunshine Tuesday and Wednesday. The highlands above 800 metres might see snow showers Tuesday night, proper mountain snow for the higher Munros. Wales needs specific focus here. Cardiff, Swansea, Bangor, you are all in the direct firing line for Atlantic systems. Cardiff, you are in that 8-degree range with persistent showers, and unfortunately that continues through midweek. Swansea, similar story, possibly even heavier showers, given your more exposed western position. The Brecon Beacons could see sleet mixing in at times above 500 metres, but nothing significant or settling. Bangor and North Wales, you are getting clipped by those systems but not taking the full force, so showers are lighter and less frequent than the south. Northern Ireland, Belfast and Derry, you are in a challenging position this week. That ice warning I mentioned earlier is active because we are seeing showers by day. Temperatures dropping sharply overnight, leading to icy patches forming on untreated surfaces. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning looks particularly concerning. Temperatures dropping to around 1 to 2 degrees. Any wet surfaces from daytime showers will freeze. Please do take care on roads and pavements first thing Wednesday morning. Let me address something that S been coming up repeatedly in comments because I know their S frustration about forecast cold snaps that never materialize. The reality is that medium-range forecasting, anything beyond about 5 days, carries significant uncertainty. When models show cold air 8 or 9 days out, they re-showing a possibility, not a certainty. Atmospheric patterns can and do shift, sometimes quite dramatically. This doesn't mean forecasters are deliberately misleading anyone. It means we are dealing with a chaotic system where small changes in initial conditions can lead to very different outcomes. Having said that, let me show you what S currently on the charts for late this week and into next, because there are some intriguing signals, even if they come with uncertainty attached. Both the Met Office model and the ECMWF are hinting at a pattern change around the 9th to 10th of February. Not a dramatic beast from the east scenario, but a potential shift in the jet stream position that could allow colder air to make more progress southward. The difference between the two models is about 50 miles in where they position a developing low-pressure system this weekend, and that 50-mile difference is absolutely crucial for eastern England. If the Met Office solution is correct, Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex, Kent, you could see that low tracking close enough to bring some proper heavy rainfall Saturday into Sunday. If the ECMWF is right, it stays further south, you stay drier. We'll know much more tomorrow. Here is the one detail that concerns me most about the current pattern. We not just seeing endless Atlantic systems, we seeing them stall at times. And stalled systems bring prolonged rainfall to the same areas repeatedly. This is why parts of southern England have seen rain nearly every single day for 3 weeks. The ground is saturated, rivers are running high, and any additional heavy rainfall has a much lower threshold to cause flooding issues. The Environment Agency has multiple flood warnings and alerts active, particularly across Somerset, Gloucestershire, and parts of the Thames Valley. Let me give you some specific timing for the next 48 hours, because this is when we have highest confidence. Tuesday afternoon, heaviest showers across South Wales, southwest England, clearing eastward Tuesday evening. Tuesday night, temperatures dropping to 2 to 4 degrees across England and Wales. Risk of ice on untreated surfaces, particularly Northern Ireland, North Wales, Northern England. Wednesday morning, ice risk gradually clearing through the morning, then a showery day for most areas. Showers heavy at times for western coasts, lighter and more scattered inland and to the east. Wednesday night, similar to Tuesday night, temperatures 2 to 5 degrees, ice risk where showers have occurred. Oxford, Cambridge, let me address you specifically because your areas have been asking about conditions midweek. You are in quite a fortunate position, actually, far enough from the main Atlantic track to avoid the worst of the showers. Mild enough that any precipitation stays as rain rather than anything frozen. Wednesday looks decent for both of you. Scattered showers possible, but also lengthy bright spells. Thursday looking even better, potentially, depending on how quickly any overnight system clears. The coastal areas deserve specific mention. Dover, you were experiencing quite gusty conditions, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds at times, making the 8-degree temperature feel considerably colder. Blackpool, similar story on your Irish sea coast, blustery with frequent showers. Scarborough, much calmer conditions for you on the North Sea coast, winds lighter, fewer showers. Plymouth, unfortunately, you are getting the full Atlantic treatment, frequent showers, gusty winds, rather grim conditions overall. Penzance, same situation, and I know from comments that morale is low in Cornwall right now with the relentless grey wet weather. The Channel Islands, Jersey and Guernsey, you are actually in a slightly better position than the mainland southwest, catching fewer showers, seeing more in the way of brighter intervals. Actually, let me just clarify something about the weekend forecast because I want to be precise here. When I say there is uncertainty about Saturday and Sunday, I'm talking specifically about precipitation timing and intensity. Temperature-wise, we read fairly confident, looking at 9 to 11 degrees for most areas. It is the rainfall distribution that remains unclear, and that is entirely down to the exact track of that low-pressure system I mentioned. Now then, let's talk about what happens after the weekend, because this is where it gets genuinely interesting. The latest ensemble runs, and these are multiple model simulations showing a range of possible outcomes, are suggesting that easterly flow could develop from around the 10th or 11th of February. An easterly flow in February typically means colder air, potentially much colder because it's drawing air from the continent rather than the Atlantic. However, and this is crucial, the ensemble spread is enormous at that range. Some members showing that cold easterly establishing strongly, others showing the Atlantic pattern reasserting itself quickly. This is precisely why I need you to check back tomorrow, because each day S model runs narrow down these possibilities. Let me address the elephant in the room that keeps appearing in comments. Snow. Everyone wants to know about snow, particularly after several disappointing winters where forecast cold spells haven't materialized. The honest answer for the next 7 days is that meaningful snow for low-lying populated areas looks unlikely. Scotland S Mountains, yes, absolutely. Perhaps the Pennines above 600 metres, maybe the Brecon Beacons and Snowdonia at elevation. But Manchester, Birmingham, London, Cardiff, Edinburgh city centres, no. Temperatures are too high, any precipitation stays as rain. Beyond 7 days into that potential easterly pattern I mentioned, then we into much more speculative territory. Could there be snow? Possibly. Will there definitely be snow? Absolutely cannot say that with any confidence at this range. Anyone showing you charts 9 or 10 days out with absolute certainty about snow is overselling the forecast confidence. Right, let me give you a run through other locations. Bristol 8 degrees, showers frequent Wednesday. York 9 degrees, much drier than areas west. Exeter, similar to Plymouth, frequent Atlantic showers. Southampton, 8 to 9 degrees, lighter showers with bright spells Wednesday afternoon. Nottingham and Leicester, 8 degrees, scattered showers. Norwich, eastern position means you miss the worst. Bright conditions likely Wednesday and Thursday. Inverness and Aberdeen, remarkably mild at 11 degrees, sheltered from westerly showers, could be the sunniest spots midweek. Dundee, 10 degrees, drier than the west coast. Stirling and Perth, 9 to 10 degrees with decent bright spells. The UK is fundamentally a mild, wet, windy country thanks to our Atlantic position. These low-pressure systems are our default winter pattern. Cold snaps and snow are anomalies, not the norm. For outdoor activities, Tuesday and Wednesday are trickier with frequent showers. Thursday shows improvement for many areas. Friday is less certain with that potential low-pressure system. For travel, rail services shouldn't see major disruption, but watch for ice on roads Wednesday morning, particularly rural routes. Ground saturation matters for flood-prone areas. Somerset levels, Gloucestershire, Thames Valley, even modest rainfall struggles to soak away. The Environment Agency monitors river levels closely. The North York Moors, Lake District, Snowdonia, Peak District will see challenging conditions with low cloud and poor visibility. What I am watching in tomorrow's models, the exact track of that weekend low, whether ensembles continue showing the easterly pattern with narrower spread and any signs of blocking high pressure establishing. Tomorrow's video will dive deep into that weekend uncertainty. By tomorrow evening, we should have clearer guidance on whether Saturday and Sunday bring heavy rain to eastern areas. I'll also have the latest on that potential easterly development for next week. I know many of you are frustrated with the endless mild wet pattern. I share that frustration. But I have to call what the models show with appropriate uncertainty caveats. Drop your location in the comments. Let me know what you're experiencing. Ground truth reports help validate the models and improve tomorrow's localized information. Tomorrow's video will be out by 6 o'clock in the evening. Check back for the full update on that weekend system and potential pattern change. Thank you for watching.